What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Ignite. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're listening to this on your walk or drive, I'm happy to have you. Or at your computer while you're supposed to be working, but you're learning instead. I'm happy to have you either way. Thanks for joining. I've got one of my favorite, and everyone knows, probably the best Cardinal of all time. He's been with me nearly a decade. He's our Director of Paid Search, Mr. Alex Kemp. Welcome to Ignite.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Did you hear that? He is scriptedly telling us he is happy to be here. I promise he means it. So we've got Mr. Kemp here, and I'm going to call him Mr. Kemp because I share the name. He's my namesake, and he is Alex. He's Alex, I would say 1.0. I would say I'm the 2.0. I'm the worser version of Alex who's at this company. This is going to be a cool episode, guys, because we're going to talk about lead quality. This is 2023. I hope I didn't just age this podcast, but it is January of 2023. And it is all about quality. 2023 is all about quality. I want to get that through everybody's head. It does not make sense to just drive more and more leads, guys. There's only so much demand out there to capture. Then you got to go into demand gen, which is fine, but it's not cheap. And if you're driving crap leads that don't convert into patients, you're really just wasting money. So I think coming out of the pandemic, and we're in a little bit of an economic downturn, I think this is very healthy because provider groups are now going to have to focus on converting more of the quality traffic, driving more quality traffic and converting it, not just driving more and more traffic when we have endless money in 2020 and 2021. So this is going to be really fun. We've got Alex Kemp. A lot has changed in the Google ad platform. A lot of things you can and can't do. Mr. Kempy here is going to tell us about the things Cardinal does, and I think we're kind of innovative in our PPC campaigns. Keep in mind, our clients are multi-location provider groups, okay? So a lot of that, the information we're going to give is nuanced for that. May or may not work if you're healthcare B2B, healthcare tech, healthcare e-com, something like that may not work, okay? So, all right, Tell me, why do people struggle with lead quality? Why is it so important? Where do you see the big hiccups happening?
Yeah, I think lead generation in general, there's always going to be kind of an inherent concern about lead quality because in the name, you're generating leads, you're not generating sales yet. You're just getting interested people, contacting that business. So you're inherently going to have an issue where the things that you're tracking as a, quote unquote conversion or a lead isn't a one-to-one relationship between actual revenue. So just because you drove a lead doesn't mean that lead's going to turn into a sale. So I think with lead gen, it's always going to be concerned that the clicks that I'm getting to my website, the people that are converting might not be exactly who I want.
Okay.
And again, because we're not in an e-commerce space where people are actually spending money on the website as they buy, you don't know that lead is the highest of quality. So always having some measures in place to measure lead quality and actually act upon it is a good thing.
I love it. Okay, so I want to get really tactical. This is going to be a super tactical podcast. I don't know why I'm getting so close to the camera, but I feel like I can hear me better when I'm closer. So this is getting really tactical. I want you to spill the beans, share the secrets. Hopefully no agencies are listening. And tell us tactical tips that we use here at Cardinal to improve lead quality. What's the number one thing that comes to mind?
I would say the number one thing is conversion tracking.
Okay.
That's important for so many reasons, but when it comes to lead quality, the conversions that you're putting in the platform and you're telling Google, go get me more of these things, it's super important because that's how you're training the algorithm. So if you have conversion actions in your account that are, someone viewed the page for 30 seconds or, someone filled out a chat, even though people don't really, submit an appointment through a chat, having those kind of extraneous conversion actions in your account are basically just kind of giving Google the wrong signals. You may have the right ones in there as well, but you're kind of muddying the water by having these things that you shouldn't have in there. So I think number one is having a really clean conversion track.
So you get rid of all the kind of BS leading indicator type conversion actions. Click to chat is not in there.
Correct. I think there's a time and place for conversions like that, but if you're struggling with lead quality, I would definitely say you want to focus on the most bottom of funnel actions possible.
Okay, name some.
So people filling out a form, people calling you. I think one of the better ones is like an appointment scheduler online. So that's actually a little bit higher quality than just someone calling or filling out a form.
Those schedulers allow you, it's a click to schedule because we don't know if they actually schedule. A lot of those programs don't let us.
Sometimes we'll have situations where we know they clicked out to the scheduler, but then in other situations we know they actually booked an appointment.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Any technology you like better for tracking? I know everybody. Which one is the best online tracker or scheduling for tracking?
I think there's going to be all kinds of options out there. The thing you're going to be looking for is, am I going to be able to track the actual booked appointment? Because a lot of times when you look at these online schedulers, the tracking capability is not really there.
With call tracking, you said forms, appointments, but you also mentioned call tracking. Mm-hmm. Am I uploading all calls back into there?
Great question. Yeah, I mean, I think if your call tracking provider has the ability to filter the calls that are being sent into the platform, you definitely want to do that. So getting rid of any calls that are less than 60 seconds probably is a good idea, because most people aren't going to be able to book an appointment with someone on the phone in 60 seconds.
Okay.
Or you might be able to even tag calls where someone is actually, the customer is saying, I need to cancel my appointment, or I need to reschedule my appointment. And of course, that's not a new appointment. So you can even filter out those calls as well. So you're really only sending the system, longer calls that people are likely to become an appointment.
Okay. All right. Longer calls, very important to put in. And then is there any kind of bidding systems that you're using that do something with this? Is this like all types of bidding work with these conversion actions, or what do we use here?
Yeah, so with target CPA is a really common bidding methodology that people use, and the kind of drawback with that, it's great, but one of the drawbacks is it treats every conversion action as the same. So an appointment, booked appointment is the same as someone filling out a form. It's the same as someone calling. So what you really kind of want to get into is a revenue-based bidding methodology. So either maximize conversion value or target ROAS. So those are actually taking into account which conversions in your account are more valuable. So the online scheduler is definitely more valuable than the call. So,
and you are you're putting in Google Ads platform that this is worth more to me?
Correct. That's
dollar amount, or what is it?
Dollar amounts, yeah.
Okay.
And you can assign, there's ways you can assign values based off of like your revenue from an actual new patient. But yeah, you're basically assigning values, and whichever ones have the highest values, Google knows these are the ones I need to get.
Cool. Very good. And that's value-based bidding?
That's correct.
That's value-based bidding. Okay. Now, so we talked a lot about what you do on the PPC side, making sure you have the right conversion actions, none of the wrong, and then assign values to those. Mm-hmm. That's the number one thing, right? Forms, phone calls over 60 seconds, and appointments. Right? Okay. Now, what else impacts lead quality? When you're looking at search campaigns and the client's yelling at us and saying, my leads are shit, the phone's not ringing, no one's actually showing up here. What else are you looking at? Just PPC? If you look at any of the creative, what else?
Yeah, I think search terms are always a good place to check. Sometimes we might get some feedback from the client that we're getting inquiries about people with Medicaid or the wrong kind of insurance. So you definitely want to be looking to see in your search terms, are we inadvertently targeting people who are searching with Medicaid? And same with ad copy. Like if we know that there's a certain qualifier that is really going to unqualify people from the get-go, like insurance, we will put something in the ad that says, no Medicaid accepted. Because even though that deters people from clicking on the ad, it's intentional, right? Like you're avoiding that click in the first place, so you don't have to pay for it. So ad copy and search terms, I would say.
Ad copy, search terms, search query reports where you're getting the search terms, right? Correct. How often are you pulling that?
We do it weekly, if not more frequent. For newer accounts, it's like every day. But
and going in and adding negatives from whatever you're seeing.
Correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do we bid on keywords anymore? Is not how Google Ads works? I'm gonna make myself look dumb. That's okay. How does this shit work these days?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like we bid on keywords, but that phrase has kind of changed over time, right? Like exact match used to only, when you bid on dentist near me, exact match, you weren't going to show up on anything else other than that. But Google can kind of extrapolate from that keyword and say, actually, we're going to show you on these other keywords as well, which is where you have to kind of be cognizant of lead quality and what search terms you're showing on, because the match types are very loose now.
Very loose. And that's how Google wants it, so that it can put you in a variety. Is the PPC search term quality gone down tremendously since Google took the reins of it? We can't do exact match and phrase match on everything we want. Is that gotten worse, or they are smarter and they are putting us in the right keyword searches more often?
I think it's gotten better over time. I think they are gonna. It saves a lot of time so you don't have to think of every single variation of possible, and it kind of does that hard work for you to go out and find those new terms that you haven't thought of bidding on, and it's all nested in conversions. So it's not going to be spending thousands of dollars on a search term that's not converting, because the goal is conversions.
Yeah, and it needs to know everything about that. CRM play in here? Can you connect a CRM into the app? That's the ultimate.
That is
conversion.
Everything we talked about so far is kind of more for advertisers that don't have that ability to integrate their CRM into the platform.
Okay. So next level is
full on CRM integration into Google Ads, where you're actually passing back what happened to those leads that you drove.
Yeah.
So it's actually saying you got 10 new patients and they're all worth this amount. So
and it knows the keyword set.
It knows the keywords, and it basically, again, you're training the algorithm to go towards those higher value conversion actions.
Okay, best CRM for doing that.
Salesforce has kind of the built-in integration with Google Ads, so that's always a good one. HubSpot, I think, is another one.
Okay.
But there's always kind of ways you can get around.
Manually upload if you have to,
Mm-hmm.
and it's anonymous and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's important. You're looking at ad copy. Are you looking at landing pages? Is there anything you'd put up top or anything like that can avoid crap leads from coming through?
Yeah, I think to the same effect that putting a headline in an ad that says no Medicaid, as an example, you could do the same thing with a landing page.
Yeah.
So they got to the page. You just want to make sure they know, hey, before you call or fill out the form.
Waste our call center's time.
Yeah. And also, it comes through as a conversion. Google thinks it's a conversion. I'm going to go get more of those people. So, the search term, the ad copy, the landing page, the bidding, the conversions, it's all.
Okay. To increase conversion rate, right? We're trying to drive better traffic and convert more of the traffic. What is your number one tip for increasing conversion rate? It's like the secret thing that we do better than anyone. It's not a secret. I'm sure a lot of people do it, but
increasing your conversion rate from like a lead to a sale or a click.
traffic to lead.
I would say the landing page is really the biggest thing. You can do everything right before the click. You can set up the campaign perfectly. You can have all the perfect keywords, perfect ad copy, but if they get to the landing page and it's a dud, or it's really hard to convert, then it won't really matter that you reached the right person, because they didn't have the best opportunity to convert.
Okay. I love it. And we're gonna do some things my brand marketer told me not to do. We're gonna go off topic a little bit. Okay, so let's have fun here. So outside of PPC, are any of the other Google suite of tools great for multi-site healthcare groups, like Performance Max within PPC, display, YouTube? Are we doing any of that kind of stuff? Does that help drive better leads?
I think those other kind of products, like you're saying, always have to be. You definitely want to think about lead quality, because when you're looking at paid search, that is kind of the most natural. Is people raising their hand saying, "I want this thing," versus when you go upper funnel, you're actually kind of disruptive. So there, and I will say those products can be prone to low lead quality. Performance Max, display, things like that, but it doesn't mean you can't use them. I think Performance Max and display, those products work really well when you have a very qualified conversion. So, we have a client that is tracking booked appointments through their website and booked appointments over the phone, which are actually listened to, and these are booked appointments. So when you give Performance Max that goal, it's going to go get some of those, right? And if it doesn't work, then you just turn it off. But where you run into issues is if you were using calls and forms with Performance Max, and then you could potentially be getting a lot of people that are not.
Yeah, just lots of calls and forms.
Right. So when you have a very qualified conversion action, those products can be killer.
And for those of the listeners that don't know what Performance Max is, myself included maybe, it's a combination of display and stuff. What is Performance Max doing? It's going outside of just Google search. Where is it putting ads?
Yeah, so it's a kind of conglomerate of placements that it puts your ads basically across all of Google's ecosystem. Yeah. So it is search, display, discovery, YouTube,
The whole thing.
Gmail.
And it just figures out where to put the ad across all the upper funnel channels and search.
Yeah, it's basically, it's kind of like programmatic Google inventory. It's going to know where to put that next impression first to get that conversion.
Okay, and you need a really strong conversion action and then it works. And are we going to the clients and saying you spent $100K and we drove this many leads and it's better? Is it better than just running on search? Is Performance Max where are we finding like it is?
So the interesting thing about Performance Max is running on search and other things in conjunction with it. So there can be kind of a halo effect when you're also running on all these other channels. So, people might not click on the display ad that you're showing them, but they might then go search for your brand name. Versus before, if you were only running paid search, you're not getting that exposure. So yeah, I think
the campaigns that run it all, Performance Max included, but you need strong conversion actions, really strong call tracking, pass back, good CRM or scheduled appointments.
Yes.
To get the ultimate lead quality.
Yeah.
That's what you wish every client did.
I wish every client.
Why isn't every client doing that?
I think there's just inherent kind of technological issues with kind of integrating CRM into your platform. It's not easy. It's hard stuff. So I think what we try to do is say, let's get as close as we can to a new patient.
60-second call is doable by everybody. Get call tracking. Booked appointments. They also need an online scheduler. Not so easy, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm learning. I'm just asking. I'm asking. This is fun. Okay, good. I hope you all had as much fun as I did on this one. This was good. It's not all about lead quantity. What did we say in the beginning? 2023 is all about quality, okay? We heard from some tips from the master, Mr. Alex Kemp here, guys. He started as an intern in SEO and then he went to the dark side in search, okay? I know I'll never forgive him for that, but he has given us the best search department, I think, in the country. I love it. You heard about the best ways to improve lead quality today. Calls being tracked 60 seconds, online schedule appointment, passing back forms, doing target bidding, ROAS bidding, and all that kind of fun stuff. Checking landing pages, ad copy, negative, search query reports. Bam! There's our outro. Mr. Alex Kemp, thank you for joining Ignite.